Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where we're working together through each of the ABRSM Theory grades. There are loads of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets and you can download those in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. You'll also find a page there with links to all of my video tutorials. And you can also find information about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of hints and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time on exam day when you're working through your exam paper. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more to come. And now we're going to continue with the second part of Grade 4 2015 past paper C. So we're looking at question 3. So if you move with me to page 16, we'll have a look at that. And as I always say, I hope you've had a go with this on your own. First of all, it's better to learn by your mistakes. If you go wrong, it doesn't matter. You'll learn more thoroughly that way. Always work in pencil and then you can just rub out and have another go. So we'll have a crack at this together now. So all of these questions below this page and onto the next page refer back to this little melody here. So we've got some musical terms and performance directions to answer here. Now, in the 2018 onwards paper, the newly revised exam paper, these will be presented to you in multiple choice format. However, I suggest that you just go ahead and give all of these their full definition, just so you can be really sure, and it's a really good revision tool to do that. So I'm hoping you've had a go of that, and now we'll do so together. If you haven't, just press pause, have a go and then re-access into the video. So here we go. So we're explaining this little line here under the note, and that's a tenuto line, and it usually means, it's quite a long-winded explanation really. It's a slight pressure, so it's not enough to be called an accent. So slight pressure. It's usually slightly separated. Just tidy my writing up there. But not enough to be staccato, because it still needs to have its full value. You can't cut the note short. So there's a slight pressure, it is slightly separated, but the note has to be held for full value. So really, that's the full explanation for that. The next question is asking us to underline 2 words from this list below that has a similar meaning to anime, which is our performance tempo direction here. So really, in order to be able to answer what is similar to this, we need to first of all explain this, and then we also need to know what all of these mean as well. And so I always recommend that you accumulate all of your words thematically. Remember, this is all of grades 1, 2, 3 and 4 combined. So group everything to do with slow, everything to do with fast, colour code it if that's what's needed, anything to just help you retain this information. So let's go ahead and discuss this first of all. So anime means animated or lively. However, be careful that you don't confuse that with the Italian. This is French, anime, animated or lively. Be careful you don't confuse that with the Italian anima, which is soul or spirited. So we know what this is now. So adagio means slow. So that's not at all like anime. Vivo is lively or quick. So that's pretty like anime, lively, animated. So we'll give that one an underline. Sostenuto means sustained. So that's not really similar to anime. And animato is kind of the Italian version of anime, which means animated or lively, just the same. And so that's the next one we can underline. So there's quite a lot involved in that question there. Let's press on. So now we're asked to write as a breve or a double whole note an enharmonic equivalent to the first note in bar 6. So bar 6 here is a G. We're in the treble clef. There's nothing in the key signature, no accidental, so it's a G. And so even if you don't play piano, I find it easier to just visualise this as a piano keyboard. You get a piece of scrap paper on exam day, and I suggest you use it. And one of the things you can do is just quickly sketch out a piano keyboard so that you can visualise any steps or semitones. So a G could be called F double sharp. That would do the job. Or we could call it A double flat. Either one of those is the enharmonic equivalent to G. So let's go ahead and do that. Be careful that you get the correct octave. Here we're not the G above middle C, with the one above that, so we're right up here. So here's our F double sharp. In a second we'll make that as a breve and then double sharp it. Alternatively, either one of these will do. We need the A above that. There's our breve, and then we'll give that a double flat. So there we go. That's that one completed. Let's have a look here. So the melodic intervals of a third in bar 4, marked with this bracket, so we're looking from here to here, are all minor. So here we've got, remember we always count it from the lowest note. So here we've got from G to B flat. So yes, that is a minor third. Again, we've got G to B flat. So yes, that's a minor third. Here we've got B flat to D. Now that's not a minor third. That's a major third. Remember, our lowest note counts as the tonic when we're counting up our intervals. And so B flat major would have a D in it. That's a major third. And so this statement is incorrect, so we'll say false. Let's move on. So we're asked to just observe the music and look at bars 3 and 4. We need to name one similarity and we need to name one difference. So let's look at bars 3 and 4. Well, straight away I can tell that the rhythm is the same, so that's one answer. Let's have a look. Actually, all the note heads are in the same place, so the pitch is also the same. There's an accent in the same place and there's a tie in the same place, so you could even say those. Any one of these will do. So let's now start looking at the differences. So what's going on that's different here? So here we've got a crescendo that we don't have in bar 3, so that's our obvious different. The dynamic is different. And then actually the other difference that you could say is there's a slur from the previous note, whereas there isn't a slur from the previous note. So we could say slur from the previous bar is also a difference. So any of those will do as the answer. Let's move on. So complete the following statement. The triplet in bar 1, so it's referring to this here, but we can just answer it in general terms as well, means 3 semiquavers or 3/16th notes in the time of, so you could either say 2 semiquavers, 3 in the time of 2, or 2/16th notes. Alternatively, you could condense that down and say that's in the time of 1 quaver or 1/8th note. There we go. So that's that question answered. Now then, how many bars can all of the notes of the tonic triad of G minor be found in? So we first of all need to know what the notes of the tonic triad of G minor are. So if we know that the triad is made of the 1st, the 3rd and the 5th, The first is G, G, A, B, C, D. So G, B, D. Of course that's B flat, but your key signature will take care of that, so you don't need to worry about it. So we're just looking for the note heads or the blobs for G, B, D. So let's have a look where we can find all of those notes. They may be in a slightly different order, but so long as they're all present. So we've got a G, a D, and a B. B flat, of course. So that's right. We've got a G, a D, so not there. We've got a B, G, B, D. So yes, there's one there. A full count for all of the notes of the tonic triad. We've got a B here, well, B flat of course, but the key signature takes care of that. G, B, D. So there's another one there. So we've got 1, 2, 3 so far. G, D, and we've got a top B here. So that's 4 bars now. We've got a G and a D but no B. So 4 bars. We can find all of the notes of the tonic triad. There we go. Let's move on. So rewrite bar 5 using notes of twice the value. And so now we need to remember to include a new time signature. So let's look at what the time signature is here. Here we've got common time, which is 4/4 or 4 crotchet beats per bar. So we need to stay in quadruple time. So we need to stay 4 beats in a bar, but we need to double those beats from crotchet beats or quarter notes to minim beats or half notes, and so the time signature for that will be 4/2. So we've now doubled everything. So let's have a look at bar 5 and see what we're going to be doing. So this doubled will become a minim or a half note. This doubled will become a minim or a half note. To double these, we just get rid of the beam. They will become crotchets then. And then here, we just get rid of one of those beams. That will become a crotchet or a quarter note. These will now become quavers or 1/8 notes instead of semiquavers or 16th notes. So that's the thinking done really. So now I'm just going to get the note heads in place. So just keep glancing to the top of the page. Just tidy that up. So then we're going to have the G, that won't need colouring in, that's going to be a minim or a half note. So also is the F. That needs to be tied. We do need to colour that in, but that's not going to have a stem now. The D won't have a beam. Those two got stems, but they won't have a beam, I should say. Of course it'll have a stem. Dearie me. So I'm just going to colour these note heads in. That will have a flat. There we go. So all these stems are going to come down because we're above the middle line. So they won't change. So that will become a crotchet or a quarter note. These will become quavers or an 1/8 note. And of course we still need to add the triplets. So that will sound exactly the same as this, but because of our new time signature, everything is doubled. So that's that completed. Now I'm just going to move this page to one side, but just keep it to hand, just in case I need to refer back to it. However, these are just general questions now, referring to our knowledge of orchestral matters. So we need to name a standard orchestral string instrument that normally uses the alto clef, or the only one that uses the alto clef is the viola. It's like a violin, only a little bit bigger. It gives a deeper sound, and because it's in that mid-range, it needs the alto clef. So there we go. So now we need to name a different family of standard orchestral instruments, and we need to state its lowest sounding. So something different to this string family. So if you were to choose woodwind, the lowest instrument for that would be bassoon. Or I guess you could say bass bassoon. It's not always present in orchestras, but bassoon or bass bassoon will do. Or you could choose the brass family, And the lowest instrument there would be the tuba, or again you could say bass tuba. Either of those will do. That's that one. Now we need to move to percussion, and we need to answer this. Name 2 standard orchestral percussion instruments. We need to name one that produces a sound of definite pitch, or another way of describing that would be tuned percussion. So if you can play a tune. And we need to choose one of indefinite pitch or untuned. So a tuned percussion instrument, something where you can play a tune really, where you've got different pitches. We could say xylophone or glockenspiel. Spelling these is the tricky bit. We've got tubular bells, that will do. You can play a tune on those. So basically anything that you hit that can play a tune. Actually, you could also have timpani, although that doesn't seem quite so obviously. They tend to be tuned to the tonic and the dominant notes. So they are also tuned, the big kettle drums. So indefinite pitch, so these would be things like the triangle. You wouldn't play a tune on that, just gives a rhythmic effect. Although it produces a sound, it's not attuned to a particular note. We've got cymbals. The list's pretty endless here. We've got the tambourine. Any one of these will do, you only need one. We've got the bass drum, the side drum, the snare drum. I'll just write one of those. You know, you're getting onto maracas and all sorts there, so that list would be pretty limitless there. Okie dokie, so that's the end of that question. We'll look at the next question in the next video. I do hope that you found this helpful. I hope that you're enjoying it. I certainly am. If you can give me a like, that would be super. Please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more to come. Please do go to sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.